What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geeks and Company and another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast. Very specifically, episode 100 of the Geek Boutique podcast. Now, I wish I had clapping in my soundboard. Actually, do I have? I have. There you go. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there it is. There it is. Episode 100. I'm a little dumbfounded, guys, to be honest, that we're at episode 100. We've got the whole crew here. Before we start talking to anybody, though, guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please take 2 seconds. Go click that subscribe button. It really, really, really helps us out. Clicking the like button also really helps propagate this show through YouTube. So, it costs you nothing. It takes 2 seconds, and we really, really, really appreciate it. Episode 100. Where do I start? My co-host. I guess I have to start there. Dude. Let's just tell a quick story here, because this show literally started 2 years ago, almost to the week. And Mr. Cosplay Alliance was bugging me to start my own channel. And he's like, JS, you got to start your own channel. And you got to start your own podcast. And you got to do your own thing. And being who he is, he had me start doing interviews on his YouTube channel and so on and so forth. So one day I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's start a podcast. Let's talk about some geeky stuff. And I decided, who am I going to do this with? And the first person I reached out to was Mr. Messiah Complex Cosplay, my buddy Aka. How you doing, Mr. Jeff?
After that lead up, man, alive. I don't know if I can even live up to that. I'm
2 years
scared.
ago.
I'm intimidated. I need to be held. No.
Freaking years ago.
2 years ago. And I remember distinctly too. Later on, I asked you, I'm like, why did you ask me? Like, the internet's full of weirdos and losers and idiots. Why did you ask me? And I don't remember what it was, but regardless, thanks. You started all this, and you reached out and asked me to be part of it. And initially, there were supposed to be like 4 or 5 of us, and it just ended up being you and I. And we've just been doing this now for the last 2 years. So it's been a great way to kill time during the pandemic, and now it's a whole damn thing. So here we are.
Yeah, the original idea was actually, we originally called it the Geeks of the Round Table is what it was originally called. But then we found out pretty quickly there was another podcast called the Geeks of the Round Table.
There were several.
Well, there were several. Fair enough.
Was that a good name?
It was a good name, but there was a lot of other people using that name. So, we had to come up with something else. We ended up with the Geek Boutique, and it was supposed to be 4 people, the 4 same people over and over again. And, it ended, like you said, it just ended up me and you.
And now we have all our friends here today, though.
Exactly. At the end of our row here, Mr. Roberto, the bad guy is.
Hey, El Chapo is in the house.
My buddy Rob. How you doing?
Down doors.
Kicking down doors, yeah.
That's great.
Kicking down doors.
I am doing fantastic.
We're gonna see Rob kicking down doors later. Actually, that's pretty funny.
You don't want to encounter an angry Rob. Trust me. It's
No, I was very passionate about one of these episodes. At
passionate.
Least.
That's what we're gonna go with. Not just in a blind rage.
Below me, right here, that Valkyrie girl, Miss Megan. How are you?
I'm doing good. I am very, very busy right now because I'm getting ready for a market next week, but that's okay. I don't need sleep.
And it's a big one too, isn't it?
7 days.
7 days.
Wow. 3 times as long as done.
7 days.
Do you know how many people they're expecting there? Guys, just so you know, this is a medieval fair, right? In Quebec.
Yep, medieval fair in Quebec.
And how many people are they expecting there? Do you know?
So I haven't been able to find like a general tally anywhere online. I'll be able to ask someone when I get there, but the main event that they do is called the Grand Battle, and that's expected to have 4,000 participants.
Holy cow. So they're probably getting 10,000 people over the week there, if not more.
Probably.
So it's going to be a good fair. That should be a good time.
Woo!
Victoria with the melons already.
No, but the one melon. So the 100.
Oh, the 100.
Yes,
the one
well
melon.
done.
Well done.
Very clever.
Victoria.
Very clever,
Well
young
done.
Victoria.
Well
Very
done.
clever.
She worked that in there.
And Mr. Wayne Cuff says, "Hey, Jen." Producer Jen joining us on a rare occasion on the Geek Boutique podcast.
When she's not here to berate us about not picking Dracula, the #1 villain.
Yeah.
I too have my words for that episode.
You two sure did.
Yeah, listen, we're gonna talk about that episode. It's inevitable.
Hey Jen, where are you right now, anyways? Because I didn't know you cosplayed Revan. That's fascinating. I didn't know. I always thought it was JS under the Revan. I didn't know it was you. That's awesome. You're pulling that shit off. Like, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I am in the prop shop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, where all the
And
magic
if,
happens.
all the magic.
Yeah.
If you guys go and check out some of our videos here on YouTube, you're going to see the prop shop a lot. Do a lot of stuff for the prop shop, from geek tests to build videos to just plain old messing around. Make sure you check it out. There's a lot of good videos there, a lot of good content. Oh, the after shows. Guys, can we just quickly talk about Strange New Worlds? I don't want this to turn into a Star Trek episode, but okay, this week's episode or last week's episode, because we're not going to talk about this week's episode. I have not watched it, Jeff. I can see your face.
What?
Not spoil a damn bit.
Not saying a word. I don't know what you're talking about.
Knocking another the park, man, on that show. Has it ever been amazing?
Yeah, murdering, slaying on that show. Like, that's really, and I think we finally have the Star Trek show that may be the one that will bring in some new viewers, because guys, they did a musical episode. Guys, they did a musical episode, for goodness sakes. So
that's this week's, is it not?
That was just last week's actually.
Oh, last week's. Okay, yeah.
Christina says just sing a word or two.
That's right.
You don't want to hear this singing, but I mean, if you come to a karaoke night, it's a good time, but
Wait, I wasn't invited to a karaoke night. When are we doing a karaoke night?
You're right. Your ears might be bleeding after you leave that.
No. I love singing. Always good for a musical. Yeah, no, it was good for a musical. Yeah, like, for sure. Like, especially if that's the genre that you like to lean into already. Yeah, it was a great episode. It's not my particular favorite type of genre, so it didn't really connect with me. But overall, the show was connecting like a mofo with me. That show is killer. Anyway,
it's doing very, very well for sure.
Yep.
Guys, what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be reminiscing about some episodes and moments that we've had over the last couple of years. Now, let's be honest, right? The Geek Boutique is what started it all, but this is just as much a celebration of the Geeks and Co. as it is the Geek Boutique podcast itself. And with all that said, there are two people that I want to bring up right up front. There's two members of the Geeks and Co. that aren't here with us today. And I don't think she's watching right now, but I want to mention her anyway. First of all, Jamie. Man, Jamie has helped us out so much in the last year at cons, setting up our website, setting up our store. Listen, she's not regularly involved in the podcast, but she's a big part of what we do. I can't say that enough. So Jamie,
she reps the booth pretty good.
Oh yeah. So Jamie, thank you so much, and everybody loves Jamie when we're at shows, right? She's the one that brings the party to the
not everybody.
Your arch nemesis.
That's right.
I also want to mention Teresa. I mean, I know Teresa. I mean, it's not like we've made you an official member of the Geeks and Co, but at this point, you pretty much are, as far as I'm concerned. You're just as part of what we do as everybody else. You've been with us for the last couple cons. You've been with us at Star Wars Day. Listen, thank you for basically donating your time to us and doing what you do, because, again, without everybody in this group, everybody plays a part in this group, right? And everybody helps everybody do more. So, guys, thank you very much. And that goes for you guys as well, right? I hope that goes without saying that, everybody.
No, please say it. Go ahead.
Everybody, on this screen right now is just as big a part of everything that we do. Without all of you guys, I'm just an idiot talking on a microphone, right? Let's be honest. So
you're still an idiot talking in a microphone.
Well, I am still an idiot
talking in microphones with you. That's all.
Yes. Jen, did you? So, by the way, guys, we're not gonna. This is not a top 10. Not a top 10 of our moments. We've got our own list of the moments that we loved that we want to talk about. If there are other things that you guys want to talk about, other moments that you loved, let us know so we can discuss those as well. So, Jen, did you want to get us started?
I can. So the first one, when we had talked about the different episodes that had a lot of meaning or were very memorable, A couple of us asked the obvious question, which was, what is the number one podcast? What does that mean? So we looked up and we kind of took a stab at it. What was our number one viewed podcast? And it was GameCon Canada podcast. We did that in January. It aired January 19th of this year. We had Living the Dream on, who was a cosplayer. She was at Fan Expo as well. She is one of the cosplay competition directors for GameCon. And then we also had the organizer, Chris, part of Maybell Consulting, who ran GameCon. We had him on too. They were able to share a lot of information about all the programming that was going on with the con. It was deemed the biggest gaming con in Western Canada. They had over 250,000 square feet of space for its inaugural year, which is impressive, I think. And that was
massive.
Yeah, it was pretty. And they had the big stage.
Mm-hmm.
They had a cosplay competition, I think, with some prizes that it's definitely got some ears perked up. So we unfortunately didn't get to attend. But we heard of a lot of details on the podcast. And then, of course, afterwards during GameCon, we were able to see a lot of people posting what happened at GameCon. So that is our number one viewed podcast of the past 100.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if so first of all, when we had the organizer of GameCon on, GameCon also advertised the fact that they were going to be on the show. So I'm sure that helped the views out a lot. Let's be honest here. But they had a very successful show. Is their first ever, well, first of all, it's their first ever show, period, in this space. They do typically, I think, food and trade shows and stuff like that, but not fandom type shows. So this was their first fandom type show, and they really killed it. They really did. They signed a deal with Warhammer. They had a huge presence at the show.
It was in Calgary, wasn't it?
It was. They invited us to go. They really wanted us there. Just not possible to get out there at that point, and all that. So, and there's a couple clips or a little bit of a clip from the show. I mean, guys, we've had Living the Dream on a couple times now. Fantastic guests. And she was one of the, what was it called? Entertainment director. I forget.
She was the cosplay competition director.
Cosplay competition director. There you go.
Yeah, I believe it was a team of them. It wasn't just her. I believe it was a team of them, but they had a bunch of people consulting with them, and they really, I think, did a good job of pulling expertise from so many different areas to make sure that they covered every corner they could. So I'll be excited to see if they come to Eastern Canada. That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, if they come to the area, we're there. I mean, let's be honest. This was such a hit. We if they ever come here, this is going to be another one of these big shows that we have to be at. I want to point out here, guys, probably the one reason why this show was so popular. Look who else was on that show that night. Producer Jen. Look at that. She joined me on the show. Because, Jeff, had better things to do, like go to a movie premiere or something like that, like.
It's the top rated or the top viewed show on YouTube. I think you guys did all right without me. I think the message received loud and clear, guys. Don't worry. I'm retiring out of here soon.
I tried to be the grumpy old man. I couldn't do it. I think that was me doing the mustache, pretending to be like you.
Nice. Well done. You don't quite have the level of smarmy look on your face you need, though, there to really pull that off. You got to really.
I tried.
Yeah.
But that was it. That was a good one. It was nice. I know we've been featuring a lot of cosplays, and I know you guys will talk about that, about kind of the direction that you're going to go in going forward with the podcast. But it was nice to have an event, have the spokespeople from the event, get all the details ahead of time. And then people were able between then and June to watch it and kind of get a feel for it and kind of know what's going on right from the horse's mouth. So it would be nice maybe going forward if we can have some more of those episodes and give people the inside scoop. I think that was a good thing.
And they spilled some beans that night. Like there were actual announcements that they made, exclusive announcement that nobody knew about, that they made that night on the podcast. So you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the
Exclusive
spilling the
news.
beans kind of started from. So, you know, that was pretty neat. That was it was a cool episode. It wasn't my favorite episode. We're gonna talk about that one a little bit later. But it was a good episode. Funny enough, our next one was also, I believe, our second most watched episode.
I would say, yeah, the next one that we definitely need to go over, especially you guys, because I know this was a huge one for you to be able to talk to him. But you met Matthew G. Taylor at London Comic Con?
It was London Comic Con.
Yeah, at London Comic Con, and then had him on the podcast, which was like, yes, great get, good guest. Listening to that one was great.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like actually like talking to him and having him on the podcast?
Well, I mean, Matt was our, I want to say our first, only real celebrity, let's say, right? Like actual celebrity. But when you're talking to him, it doesn't feel like a celebrity, right? He just another guy. He's super chill. He loves talking about this stuff. He says he's not a geek, but I mean, he doesn't know all the sci-fi properties, but he geeks out about this stuff just as much as we do. I mean, I don't think the picture here that you're seeing does this man justice. Okay, he's a freaking ginormous fridge of a man. Like
He's a big guy.
He's a big boy. But yeah, he's just super chill, super down to earth. For me, as far as the podcast going and the conversation moving back and forth and the conversation moving along by itself, the best show we've done, I think. It was just so easy to talk to him. You didn't have to look for questions. It was just like you're talking to an old buddy.
So this is your favorite episode?
It is not.
Oh, it is not. Okay.
But it probably is my second favorite. Let's put it that way.
He was definitely like, he was so effusive. He was so loquacious. Like he was so, like you said, he was easy to talk to. It really did feel like more like a conversation other than me shamelessly hitting on him and flirting with him the entire time.
The amount of man crush that was exemplified
That
in that
dude
episode was
hits
great.
every button I have, let me tell you. Yeah, for sure. But for a guy that is such a huge and intimidating presence, for a guy his size, for him to be as easygoing, as laid back, as soft-spoken, and as articulate as he is, I'm sure he spent a lot of his life just getting written off as a big dumb guy, especially since he's jacked on top of being like 6'5" and whatever. Dude's sharp as a whip and very, very well spoken. Like that was a great episode to listen to. Like barring us, we're just like feeding him questions and he's just coming back with stuff and giving us really cool, deep insights into how this stuff gets made and what his roles were and how he finds stuff. And yeah, no, a great guy to talk to. Hopefully we can have him on again at some point. I'd love to have him back.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be great to have him on again and also try and do more podcasts like that, like get more interviews in, because I feel like people who are actually in the production of the media we enjoy have like a specific perspective and like specific insight that they can share. So fingers crossed we can try and do more of that.
Yeah, and guys, if there are specific people that you would like to see on, or even if somehow you have some sort of access to certain celebrities that you think we should have on the show, let us know. Give us a hand. Yeah, we would love to.
Anybody
have
got any
people on the
connections
show
out there?
But that's a great segue though, Megan, because when we're talking about industry people, I think need to talk about a specific gentleman that we've now had on twice. And again, I'm going to tell a little bit of a story here. I'm part of a number of online Facebook prop making groups. And this gentleman is one of those gentlemen that's part of a lot of the same groups that I'm part of, right? So it's the type of person that you interact with on Facebook without ever really knowing who this person actually is. And then we bumped into him at Fan Expo Limited. Actually, he's in the return. We have a couple shots of him in the return. We met Mr. Ben Eady. Now, Ben Eady, for those of you who don't know, he runs a shop called the Foam Armory, where he makes and sells not only patterns, but die cutting and laser cutting patterns for foam. He essentially is the grandfather of foam chainmail. He invented the foam chainmail. Long story short, we met him at Fan Expo 2021 Limited. And realized that this is a guy that's worked on Ghostbusters and that's been on Adam Savage's Tested, building stuff with Adam Savage and putting two and two together wait a second, I know you. And so we started talking, and he loved our Predator suits because, funny enough,
yes,
Mr. Ben Eady here has worked on 2 different Predator movies. Not only has he worked on 2 different Predator movies, but he's worked on Ghostbusters Afterlife, and he was here, I think it was November 12th, 2021. And we specifically got to chat about the production of Ghostbusters Afterlife. What was it like to be on set and to have to, do what we do for fun, but on a movie set, essentially. This was my favorite episode. I geeked out so much with Ben. Actually, both episodes with Ben. The second time Ben was around, he had just gotten off of Fraggle Rock. So we talked a lot specifically about Fraggle Rock because, it was a big part of my childhood, and I know it was a big part of Rob's childhood as well. But yeah, this episode that we're seeing right now on screen for those that are actually watching us on YouTube with Mr. Ben Eady was what the frack, literally.
Was this the first time he was on, or the second time he was on?
This was the first time he was on. Yeah. I can't remember now if it was the first time he was on or the second time he was on when he told us the story about how he built. So I don't know if you guys haven't seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, go see the damn movie or rent it or check it out. It's amazing. But in the movie, there's a new kind of ghost trap, and it's a RC ghost trap that like friggin' flies, man. Like the thing goes just as fast as the Ecto-1, and he told us the story of how he built the little RC ghost trap that it ended up getting run over by the Ecto-1 and he got smashed. He ended up collecting all of the smashed bits, keeping those smashed bits, and did something with the studio on their own YouTube channel about, fixing it up and bringing it back to life. And now it probably lives in a museum somewhere. But yeah, that geeked out my little inner child here.
Yeah, another guy who had such great insights into a completely different part of the business from when we talked to Matt. Because Matt, of course, is on the acting side, whereas Ben is obviously on the production side. So getting to talk to him and getting his insights and talking about some of the projects, like especially when he was talking about Star Trek Beyond and designing the rotating bridge that he did. Maybe that was In the Darkness.
That blew my mind that was a physical set.
That was a physical set that they did, that they rotated the whole thing.
Yeah.
And one thing to note too, especially with Ben, like if Matt is in a film, he's in the credits automatically. Like if he's in the film, he's in the credits. Ben, a lot of Ben's work goes uncredited. A lot of guys like Ben that work on that side of things go uncredited. In fact, some of the stories he was telling us about very specific things like, hey, I know how to design and I'm going to help build this, was a movie he didn't receive any credit on, even though he was an integral part of making certain parts of that film. So you're seeing all this talk about the strikes and this and that. There's a reason why all this is happening, kids. Is a lot of cases, not only are these people not getting paid what they should be getting paid, sometimes they're not even getting credit for the work they're doing in the industry as well. So Ben was a shining example of that. Again, super, super sharp guy, great to talk to. Would like to see Ben getting some more credit for the work that he's done, because it's incredible, insane, the stuff that he does. His foam chainmail.
That's nuts.
So cool.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
nuts.
Yes,
Yeah,
very, very cool.
it's ridiculous. I got a little bit of the same kind of stories from Evil Ted when I got the chance to interview Ted, where a lot of the stuff that they do, they make for a company, and it's that company that gets the credit, right? That company is in the credit, but all the employees of that company, like all those people that work at Weta Workshop, they're not all in the credits, right? Weta Workshops is in the credits, but the rest of the people, they're just employees, right? So
Funny enough, in the news right now, most of the VFX crews that work at Marvel are forming a union, specifically because of all the release. Partly what you're talking about, but partly because of all the news stories that have come out recently that the folks over at Marvel have been a little bit not nice to their VFX crews, like really slave driving them and making them work long, terrible, ridiculous hours. So they're actually unionizing now to try to address a lot of what we're talking about now and a lot of the issues in the industry. So again, good on you guys. Go. Unions work. It's not all perfect. None of it is, but at least you're going to have someone there to help advocate for you and make sure you're not getting worked to the bone for little to no pay. So, yeah.
Tana's over here. Jen with the awesome background glow. Yeah, I know. That's a pretty cool setup you got back there. You got 2 Revan helmets behind you, too. I just realized that.
Thanks. I put it all
Look
together
at you.
myself.
Look at you.
JS doesn't actually make anything. Jen makes it all. We're talking about getting false credit. A little bit of stolen valor going on here, I think is going on, but Jen actually makes everything. JS is just like, yeah, I totally made this.
Yeah.
Back in the prop shop, you keep cranking this stuff out.
She's actually the one wearing the Reverend costume. Little does anyone know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Talking about costumes, before we move on here, we're going to be doing something a little bit different at Fan Expo this year. We're for the first time ever doing a horror day.
Yes.
So we're actually all going to be doing horror-based style cosplays. We've got some guests that are going to be joining us also in horror style cosplays. Have we announced any of that yet?
Nope.
We
I don't
haven't.
think we have.
Because...
Well,
yeah, it's been hard to announce
still up in the
anything
air,
when
but
things are still up in the air. Yeah, fair enough.
I don't
Just
know if
so
you want to try to
everybody
spill some beans early or not on some of that.
Yeah, it's you know,
we'll save it till the end to talk about those.
Yeah, but you know, either way, we're going to be doing some horror stuff. So
I say
if you're not
in
going to be at Fan
horror,
Expo, you should be.
I would say horror segues well into an episode that I think Rob's going to want to talk about.
Speaking of horror and
speaking of horror,
here we go.
So there was an episode. I don't know if. Yes, I also feel strongly about this. There, Jeff. Back in October.
Afraid, Jeff? Are you afraid?
Oh, bring it!
So we put it out there to Instagram for what things we should do for our top 10s. I don't know if this was the first top 10 or one of the subsequent
top
ones.
10.
This was the first one.
This was the very first top 10.
Very first one.
And it turned out to be
the best one.
Controversial and divisive. It was one of the best ones. There was a lot of friction and upset in the ranks here at the Geeks and Co. There was a lot of debate that took place. Jen and I had differing opinions from what turned out from the list, but hey, we weren't on that episode. But
nope,
I had some strong opinions.
Episode in the 100 episodes that I sat in the living room and yelled to him upstairs during the podcast. I'm sure if someone listens to the audio, you can hear me yelling up at the stairs at him.
I was saying Jeff got a photo sent to him from the group of us here in Kitchener. I don't know if you put it into the draft.
I did not put it in the draft. I apologize, but it's 5 people on a couch giving me the finger. Actually, by proxy, giving me and JS the finger. And our friend Alicia was on that podcast as well. So
does anyone who's watching know what episode we're talking about?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious right now. We're talking about the top 10 villains of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, what an episode.
This is even triggering me right now. You got a predator in this image and it wasn't allowed to be on the list.
Sadly, the greatest addition to that entire list isn't on there. I don't see the Wicked Witch of the West on there anywhere. Where is she? I don't. Which seemed to be the triggering event, by the way, just so we all know. Hashtag Dracula wins. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Dracula didn't win. The Joker ended up winning.
The Joker did end up winning, which did spark some debate as well. So
yeah.
That,
the Joker won.
Yep.
There you go.
Look at that. Dracula's third. Jesus, what do you want? It's way too high.
I still think the top 3 are
interchangeable.
The top 2 are, well, it's not the right order. It's just
Oh no! Oh please, Megan, please. Tell
What
us
order
what
should
the
it have
right
been?
order is.
That was the horror villains. Dracula made it to number 1 during the horror villains.
Okay, that is very the clarification on that. That was
Yeah.
good. Yes.
He
We should have
redeemed.
disqualified him,
So-
by the way. He should have been able to be on 2 different lists at the same time. But I guess
We have some that are like Superman is on 2 lists.
They can
Spider-Man
be on
is
2 lists.
I'm just trying to trigger you guys, and it's working.
Yeah, no,
clearly.
you're triggering me
It's working
because
really
I
he
can
can't
see
be on
this.
2 lists because he didn't allow some to be on this list, but they're on 2 lists. Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't
Who
make
makes the
any
rules
sense.
around here?
Well, I mean,
Oh.
the Wicked Witch of the West. Sorry for So,
Yeah.
guys, everybody be mad at Michael because it's Michael that suggested the Wicked Witch of the West. So,
Yeah.
There we go. It's
And
Michael.
I would like to point
This-
out that I believe the Wicked Witch of the West would still pass the Robbie's grandma test, which was we were using as a litmus test to figure out the overall popularity of a particular character. I'm pretty sure Robbie's grandma knows who the Wicked Witch of the West is. So,
Let's
Would-
be honest
would
here. The
pass
Wicked
Robbie
Witch of the
Grandma test.
the Wicked Witch of the West is what sent Rob off his rockers, guys. So we joked at the end of the show because Rob was bitching in the comments about the Wicked Witch of the West, and I was like, "Oh, watch Rob just show up at my house." Lo and behold, like 7 minutes later, bang, 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 bang on the door. There's Rob showing up at my friggin' house. Jen was like, "Oh, I was getting ready to get ready to go for." She's like on her way to bed. Rob's knocking on the door. I think
Do
we have a special reenactment of Rob showing up at my house.
we know?
Jen, can you cue that up?
she's like,
I don't know how
"No."
to do the video with sound. You're gonna have to do that one.
Oh, okay.
wah.
Let's
I
say
was
it's
trying to
my
do that
So
one.
we need a dramatic reenactment because getting that.
So
in-
let's go to the comments. What's in the comments?
Well, Victoria is saying she's sensing a union forming here. There's definitely some triggered folks here. Some the Melon Union is what Megan Avery is saying. Absolutely. I don't know who DM is, but whoever it is, it's just all up in your Dracula is forever. Let's all settle down. Steve over here just sucking up to Jen so much. Wicked Witch West got nothing on
Yes.
Dracula. Let's all just.
accurate.
You'll notice Dracula
Valid
is
claims
3
are
and Wicked Witch is 10, guys. It's not like we put her at the top.
accurate.
We really wanted to fuck you with you guys. We would have made her number 1 and watched you all just melt down like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Your faces would have just melted right off your goddamn skulls. But
This made me so angry.
it made a lot of people angry, which, I mean, at the end of the day, if we put out the list and everybody's like, yeah, it's pretty much good, I'm not interested in that. There's got to be some controversy. We want people talking about it, and people talked about this. And this kind of led to the reaction to this, led to us doing a whole bunch of other top 10 lists that all went,
Mhm.
I mean, better than this one, but they all went the same. There was a lot of talk and a lot of back and forth, and
Yeah.
a lot of this is okay and this is not. And
They've definitely some of the most enjoyable, the fun ones to be a part of, especially in
Yeah.
the audience as a
Yeah.
watcher. I wasn't even on most of these,
Yeah.
and they were some of the funnest ones for me to be a part
you're
of.
just yelling at the screen.
Yeah,
Where's
so
this?
fuck
Where's
you,
that?
keyboard warrior here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Gotta get my opinion in.
There you go. Dracula number
There's my
1.
Dracula.
Yeah. Hey, do we not have there's the alien, so we don't have the predator on any of these? That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Nope.
we actually had to do that one because of the
I don't know where this video is.
outroar from the first one.
Too funny.
Yep, because you gotta put it in.
Listen, all right. One more of these. I swear to God. Justice for Biff. The shirt's coming, kids. You can order your own Justice for Biff shirt at the Geeks and Co store.
Oh no.
Okay, well, folks, I was going to show you the reenactment, but I can't find the video. It's not in the folder that we've set up for the show. So
We'll make sure
Sorry,
we're playing
folks.
it at on the TV at Fan Expo, guys, at the booth. We'll make sure
There
we're
you
playing
go.
that video so that everybody gets a
no
chance to
idea
see
where
it,
the
so.
video is.
It's
Okay,
in
we'll
the
share it
Fan
into
Expo
the
2023
Instagrams.
folder, Jess.
It's in the Fan Expo 2023.
I think JS and Rob should do a top 10 Predator countdown. Like what, like top 10 Predator kills maybe, or
Kills, movies, appearances. What we going
well,
here?
there's not 10 movies, so I think that would be difficult. But and I don't think there's 10 appearances either. But there could definitely be top 10 kills for sure.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Predator specific.
Yes. Top 10 trophies collected as a Predator. Top 10. Yeah, it could be all kinds of different. I'd be down for top 10 kills, and we could have little clips of the different kills that we like. So Yes, Day Cosplay. That's who DM is. Yes, Day Cosplay will be Predatoring with us on Saturday, I believe. She's gonna bring her
really?
Predator. Yes, she's going to bring her Predator on Saturday at Fan Expo.
Nice.
So, yes, we definitely welcome all different kinds of Predators, guys. Please, please bring your top 10 mustaches of all time. Remember that one. That's
This
still,
one made me
by the
giggle
way,
a little.
talk about. So I get triggered. Nobody gives a fuck. I still get shit from people that are asking me why Tom Selleck is not number one. Do you know how many people have rolled up on me since this list came out? And they're like, those
Tom
two
Selleck.
browbeat you into not letting you put Tom Selleck number one. I'm like, oh, I know. I'm well aware.
And I remember when you had pitched this one, and I believe JS was not able to attend this one.
Correct.
And you had done it with Ed
and Corey were the two
Ed
that
and
were
Corey.
on that one. Yep.
And I remember thinking, okay. And I don't think I had giggled so much. This podcast actually made me giggle out loud. As a grown-ass woman.
And I want to say, I don't think he's here, but I think it was Michael that suggested it was the late ad. The two big surprises were Yosemite Sam, which Ed added in late, and then Julius Pringles is what was a late ad.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm starting to think that he needs to be on one of these top 10s.
Need to get Michael in.
Julius Pringles?
Yeah. No.
Like, who's Julius?
He is. He's right there. What are you talking? No. By the way, if you guys have a chance to check out the Monday Night Nerd podcast with Michael Myers and Myers Corp, go check it out. But I will say he just released his top 10 worst comic book movies of all time, and his number one is The Dark Knight. Fuck that guy. He's never coming on for any show on the Geek Boutique, let alone a top 10. The worst comic movie of all time is The Dark Knight? Are you out of your fucking mind? That is the worst take I've ever heard.
Yeah, The Dark Knight number one. I didn't really get
the worst
that,
of all time. Did you see the other films that were on that list he put together? Those films are shit.
I'm trying to remember. There was another one on the list.
On that list, on the mustache list, because my mustache kind of comes and goes. I don't have it all the time. It's I get a lot of grief when I just have the mustache. So, what can you? Not that that stops me, but I plan facial hair around cosplay specifically. So, yeah. Wait, what? The Dark Knight really was he high? I don't know. He might have been. I don't know what his habits are, but
I don't know. That was
I commented on it when he posted on Instagram, and his comment was, "I'm never allowed back on the podcast, am I?" I said, "You sure as fuck are not. You're done. Your privileges have been revoked."
There wasn't some other crap
podcast for you
at the same time, was there?
No, there sure weren't. No,
he's referring to
he's referring to the movie that changed the rules of the Academy Awards. The year it was released, they wanted to nominate it for Best Picture, but they only had 5 slots available, and it would have been number 6. So it didn't get a nom. So the next year and all subsequent years, you can have up to 10 movies in the Best Picture category. That movie is why that is.
Really? The Dark Knight. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, Heath Ledger, of course, gets the posthumous Best Supporting Actor for his take, and I mean, it made over $1 billion. Not that that's a really good marker for whether or not a movie's good or not. Sort of the Transformers movies, and those were dog shit. But I mean,
that really means nothing these days.
No, granted,
the amount of money they make doesn't mean they're a good movie.
There's an interesting site out there that I get a lot of my movie news called darkhorizons.com. I know I'm going off on a tangent, guys. I apologize. Dark Horizons it's an Australian-based website. It's been doing movie and TV and video game news for years and years and years and years, and everything's sourced, everything else. They put out articles too, and the one article they put out was, "There's Myers Corp. Hi, Jeff. Listen, fucker, you and I are gonna have a chat." They put out, they ranked
good timing, Mike.
Yeah,
good timing.
All of the comic book movies that have ever been. And by the way, guys, movies based on comic books, so whether they were superhero or not, so like American Splendor and History of Violence and Road to Perdition, like anything that was based on a comic book. And what the site did was they took the critical score from Rotten Tomatoes, the critical score from Metacritic, and the audience score from IMDb. So to try to get as broad a spectrum of scores as possible, and then average them out to make an aggregate score, and then listed them from top to bottom. So there's over 100 movies in the list. Any movie that's ever come out was based on a comic book. Would you like to know which movie is number 1 on that list?
I'm going to say The Dark Knight.
It is The Dark Knight.
Okay.
So it is the best reviewed and audience appreciated comic book movie of all time.
So I think on his list it said Dark Knight 2012. Did it not? The 12?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he wrote that, which it didn't come out in 2012. The Dark Knight Rises did. So is he talking about that movie?
I mean,
maybe because Dark Knight Rises was really, really, really bad.
It wasn't.
Michael, maybe you can.
That's a different case. You need to clarify.
I mean, it wasn't as good. I wouldn't call it the worst.
No, I wouldn't put it
movie
at
of
number
all time.
No.
Like that's.
He also has Eternals at number 7, Jeff.
Well, I mean, he's just dumb. I'm all done with Michael. That's Michael. You and I, we're breaking up. Breaking up is hard to do, but
listen, guys, if you don't know Michael, it doesn't matter. Go check out his podcast, Monday Night Nerd. It's right here on YouTube. It's a fantastic podcast. It's just him ranting for an hour. It's a fun listen. When I'm at the gym at that time, I always tune in to at least listen to his pre-show. He also does a pre-show before his podcast for 15 minutes on Instagram as well. So go check that out.
Wow, where did you get that idea?
Myers Corp Creations, I believe, on Instagram.
Hey, were your
Hey,
ears
there
burning,
is Teresa. Yeah, her ears must have been burning earlier.
Yeah, that's right. That's our
Teresa.
friend
You're
Teresa.
gonna have to go back and listen to the beginning of the show.
We give you some mad props. We didn't, by the way, talk about her amazing cosplayer herding skills for the photo meetups. I mean, that woman takes charge. There is no question who's running those meetups when we do them, because I have never seen somebody handle dozens of cosplayers the way Teresa did and got everybody in position, got the pictures that she wanted, and got out of there. It was very, very well done and well run, and that is 100% on Teresa. So
we'll say every time. Well, we've done it twice now, and is it twice? Twice now. And both times I've had a lot of comments of, man, does she know how to run a friggin' meetup, right? Like it's okay, I want all these guys, get set up, move this way, do this.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
Right,
and then it's just like boom, boom, boom. All right, the next thing, and then boom. Like it's not like she's not taking 8 hours to set up one shot. Megan and I were a few years before that. Megan and I were part of a giant X-Men shoot. And there was like, I don't know, 32 of us or something like that. And for the first shot, just one shot of all of us, how long were we in all that position for that one shot?
I think we had to be on that staircase for a solid 15, 20 minutes at least.
One picture. One pose, one picture, and then there were still more pictures to come at. Like, and again, I get there was a lot of us, but it wasn't any more of us there than there was at any of these meetups. Like our DC meetup was bigger at Fan Expo last year, and that went.
Actually, being outside for that was our friend Alex's first Fan Expo, and he got heat stroke because of his costume and being outside in the sun for that long.
Wow.
Yes, he was first class Magneto. And so it was almost like a wetsuit that he was wearing with a foam helmet. And he was
no breathability.
Yeah, he was dying. So
wow.
So who was
our friend Alex.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
He was dying. There's no question there.
I bet.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun event, and it's not like it wasn't, because we got to hang out with all our friends. It wasn't like it wasn't a fun shoot, and getting all the X-Men together like that was cool. But man, alive,
it just was for it. And then seeing the difference between that and then organization going quickly. I'm like, oh, it can happen fast.
It can happen fast. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember talking to Alex, and he was like, "Help me!" Yeah. We suffer for the art, kids. We all know this as cosplayers. You know, we all overheat at times. Stay hydrated, bring snacks, all that good stuff. Get out of the sun, the direct sun, if you can help it. And sometimes I'm not gonna lie. I'm 8 years in the game now. Sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I like getting photos as much as the next guy, but a shot like that or a shoot like that, that's probably not in my future, kids. It's just not worth it. I'm not shaming anybody that does like doing photo shoots and likes to do all that kind of stuff. That's great, but man alive, you miss so much of the con doing it, and then you're in these miserable conditions, and you're holding poses for so long, and you're waiting on this, and it's a whole damn thing. So, but hey, to each their own. Speaking of events and getting photos and such, Jen, look like you got something.
I was going to say, I think I found the footage. If you guys
are
interested,
yes,
of course.
Let me see if I can get this going here.
We're checking in.
So this, guys, is the night of the top 10 villains. We got off the air, and we hadn't been off the air for it couldn't have been more than 10 minutes when this happened.
What the fuck, Jazz? Jazz. What the fuck? We need to talk about this villains episode. Let me in, Jazz. Let me in, Jazz. Let me in. This is BS. Come on, man. That episode was ridiculous. What the hell's going on? Let me in. What the fuck, man? The Wicked Witch of the West? Like, what the hell? We gotta talk about this. That's pretty much how it went.
That's pretty much how it went.
Right?
And then Jen standing there, like in her jammies with a glass of water. Like,
You were fired up too. You're like, I know, right?
I know.
Yeah, these guys were not happy with our top 10. And
Good. I can't wait to
you know,
do one that's going to piss everyone off again.
Yeah, I mean,
Right, not there yet. We've had some questionable ones for sure, but nothing like that one. We got to come up. By the way, guys, some top 10 suggestions would be fantastic. Throw them out there. Let us know what top 10s you guys want us to do. And we're happy to do them, I'm sure. So
They're so fun.
100%.
Do enjoy. I think we need to do a redo. Yeah.
Is there any new villains over the last year that might make the list? Something. To think
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Heatstroke, the lesser-known supervillain, has taken down more heroes than anyone.
Fair enough.
I came in at number 11 after that video we just watched. Jeff,
Rob the bad guy came in at number 11.
I came in at number 11.
Top 10 80s movies. That would be cool. It's very niche, but I would be down for that for sure. Yeah, we did a retro toys one, and so that would definitely be sort of along those same lines for sure.
Well, the retro toys
And
episode
who was number
wasn't.
one, Jeff? Who was number one?
I believe it was Lego. Anyway, so moving right along. Moving right along.
I wasn't.
Here we go. Not to steal the spotlight, but there is something I do want to talk about, because not only have we started to do guest appearances with the booth at Comic-Cons, we also thought we would run our own event, and we did that this year, May the 4th, in London, Ontario. Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you. That was with London Brewing Cooperative, which you can see established here in 2014. So our good friend and sometimes collaborator, Crazy Mike Cosplay, lives very close to London Brewing and has a great relationship with the people that run. And by the way, it is a true cooperative. So everything they do it as a group. There isn't just like a person, like there's not a CEO and then there's underlings or whatever. Everybody's got a piece of the business, so they all make decisions together. And we spoke to them about hosting an event because on Thursdays, which is when May the 4th took place for 2023, is also their trivia night. So we're able to kind of roll everything in. We started the event at 3. All the geeks got there. CTV News came out. They did a little article and a little feature piece on us. And we got a chance to work with London Brewing for the venue. And then we got a chance to work with these really cool guys called the Dad Club of London. And Dad Club works in conjunction with Ronald McDonald House. And so we had a huge raffle for a bunch of different prizes. Producer Jen was cool enough to email a bunch of local businesses in London and get them to donate prizes. Tilt, what are some of the other ones? The Junction Climbing Center. We had Grand Theater. We had the London Music Hall, London Comic-Con, Shock Stock. JS made this dope-ass Revan helmet that people could buy and use. London Brewing Co-op put in some swag as well. And we raised nearly $500 for the Ronald McDonald House through just the raffles. And then London Brewing Co-op was also cool enough to, Rob, you still got that beer handy with you?
I do.
Cool enough to brew a beer specifically for the event. It is a honey lager. Everything London Brewing does, by the way, is all organic. The hops they use is all organic. Everything's organic. They actually have beehives in the parking lot across the road from their brewing cooperative. So they just went out and grabbed some honey and poured it in, and they did a honey lager. They did it in their pilot test system, which was a smaller keg, but that keg was gone by 7, and the cans were all sold out by 8 o'clock. So rousing success for that event.
We didn't make nearly the end of the evening. I had, I think, 2 beers and they were gone. And I was like, wow.
My logo's on the damn can. And
I came all the way to freaking London to drink this beer, and it's gone after 2, right?
Yeah. It was great working with Dad Club, Ronald McDonald House, great organization. I've used them. Yeah, absolutely. I have also used Ronald McDonald House in the past. So we did a live podcast from the event as well. You can see me running my never stopping mouth as I typically do. And that's actually outside of the back patio. And it was just It was a great event. Then when the trivia kicked in, that place was packed. Like,
Oh my God.
you couldn't move in that place. So yeah, there's a reason why everything sold out the way it did, and the raffles went so well. The trivia went amazing, and they're very hyped to have us back for next year. It's on a Saturday next year, guys, by the way, too. So free comic book day and Star Wars Day will both be on the same day. So hopefully you're going to see the geeks maybe do both of those events in one day. Morning, early afternoon, we'll do free comic book day, and then later afternoon into the evening, we'll do Star Wars Day. It'll be a whole giant geek day. So Jeff the Space Hobo, that's correct, sir. That is correct.
Yeah.
I have already been talking. Corey's saying blue milk stout. Certain, we're not trying to sell a blue milk stout in spring. That's never going to happen. So we have talked with him, though. We're talking about doing a golden ale and calling it Twin Sons for the Twin Sons of Tatooine. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, please, guys, come on out, support this one. It was for a great cause. We'll be doing it again. Hey, and there's editor Megan getting there too with her Ray. JS and his Revan with the wrong cloak, but he made it work. He was so mad.
Oh, dude, don't even remind me, man.
You were
I was
so mad.
So pissed that I forgot my cloak at home and had to use this cheap ass ugly cloak. Every single picture from that day, I looked like a friggin' moron. Like, ugh.
Like
What
when you
were-
were a kid and you tied a towel around you. Like,
the super.
Yeah.
I even asked him when he was figuring out the Fan Expo lineup, and he said Revan for the Friday, and I said, you want to redeem the cloak, don't you?
I love how, by the way, off topic, but I love how he said it was going to be like sci-fi Friday, so we wouldn't be tied into Star Wars cosplays, and all four of us are doing Star Wars cosplays.
Well, I mean, and that bears questioning with the fact that there's going to be some, prominent Star Trek actors there.
Not till Saturday, Sunday, though, unfortunately. So,
really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, at least I know Pike and Spock are not there until Saturday. So Saturday, Sunday, but I'm not sure about Michelle Hurd or Gates McFadden. Maybe they're there a little bit earlier. I don't know, but
if you're watching this live, we saw a bunch of our viewers, our regulars here. They're gone now, but we saw Ali, we saw Richard, who's been on recently. We saw Keith in there.
We saw Erica was there. Corey
Erica
was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was it was a fun day. It was our first official event. Like, it was our event.
Yeah.
With our name on it.
Yep.
And I'd like to think it was a success. It was a good time. Everybody loved it. Everybody, yeah.
Yep.
So
it must be because they want us back for next year. So,
well, there you go.
Keep your ear to the ground on that one, guys. May the 4th. So Saturday this coming year in 2024, May the 4th, we will be back at London Brewing Co-op with another event. And yeah, should be a good time.
Guys, if there's any moments or episodes that you want us to talk about, let us know right now, because we're getting to the end of our list. We're getting right back around to the top of the hour. So this is the time to pipe up if you want us to talk about anything specific. I did want to bring up, I mean, this is a good time to, I guess, with the fact that we were live from the Star Wars Day, but our first time we went live at a con was Fan Expo 2022. Was it March 2022? I'm trying to read through my thing here.
So
Toronto.
Toronto.
No, it's Comic-Con 2022.
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con 2022.
Oh, yes, for the
They're all blending together.
They are all
Well, this
blending
would have been-
together.
yeah, we didn't have a booth at this one. We were just
We
all
did
there
not.
as patrons type of thing. So
And this was the first convention, full-fledged convention back from COVID. So this was not a limited edition like Fan Expo was. This was a full-fledged Comic-Con, shit ton of people, crowded as friggin' nuts. And here we were walking through the crowd for the first time. Security asking us, "You got enough media passes?" Anyway, it was a crazy time, but it's become a standard for us now. Now we don't do a show without going live on Instagram. We don't go to a convention without going live on Instagram. It's kind of become our thing, I kind of feel like. And we've gotten a lot of good comments from people who can't be there, just love it because they get to see what these cons are all about.
It's very fun.
a couple guys saying episode 99. They were big fans of that. Talking to Kareem and Ira, talking about inclusivity and diversity in cosplay and such. So yeah. By the way, we'd never had Ira or Kareem on the show before, so getting them on was a treat, especially for me. I know both of those gentlemen. I've worked with them both before, so getting them on the podcast was pretty dope.
And you can see some shots of Comic-Con 2022 here.
Oh yeah, this is the first one.
Yeah, it was the first one back. Everybody was there. Every single person. I would say most of the people in this chat, barring some of the people in London, obviously, but most of the people in this chat were at this show. There's Christina right there. Listen, we're not going to stop doing this. We're not going to stop going live from con floors. I feel like I said, it's become our thing. We're going to keep doing it. We enjoy doing it. We love talking with you guys live. There's Marianne and her frog lady. This is why right here we originally decided we wanted to have a booth at Fan Expo.
Hey, who's that?
There you go. That's Miss Megan right there. So I guess it came down to we did this live, and then we were like, wouldn't it be fun if we had an actual booth that we could do our podcast from at Fan Expo?
That's what started the conversation, right?
Like, we'd have a place to sit. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Place to stay, store all of our stuff. That way we can actually change into costumes and not be swarmed and lugging everything around.
But come on, a booth at Fan Expo? We're not going to get a booth at Fan Expo. That's silly. And then producer Jen goes, hold my beer. Next thing you know, it's 3 weeks before the show. No, it's actually 6 weeks before the show when we find out. No. How long before the show did we find out we were going to be there?
Yeah, it was about 6 weeks.
6 weeks before the show?
Yeah, because we were in Quebec and we were ordering stuff.
That's right.
To prepare for the show while we were in Quebec.
That's right. Funny how the tables have turned. Anyway.
2 weeks.
2 weeks to go. Yeah. But yeah, guys, we're gonna keep doing lives from shows. I think, it's kind of become on brand with what we do.
And I think people are really liking it. And let's mention also after the lives that you guys did from Fan Expo. I know it wasn't the first one, which is what you just saw. That we got some good responses and thank you messages on Instagram where people couldn't make it for whatever reason. And it gave them the feeling like they could see what was going on, that they could feel a part of it. And I thought that was a really nice message that we got from one of our followers that were like, okay, we are doing the right thing. This is what we need. And no one else does it. Just the Geeks.
Yeah, and I think coming in after the top 2 YouTube videos we talked about earlier, the next 4 or 5 are all our live videos from the con floor. So they are pretty popular.
So. Yeah, I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah, people like them.
It's fun.
Yeah, and our whole presence at Fan Expo was based around that premise to begin with. So we get to go cosplay at cons and put on a show, and then our only obligation is to do a little bit of a live for an hour a day, right? Like,
wander when we can and hang out at the booth when we can't because it's too packed, and interview different cosplayers and different vendors, and try to get exactly what the intention was. Try to give you guys a floor level look at how the con looks and what it's like to be there. And
so that's our first booth you're seeing here.
The preview of the booth,
Yeah, so let's talk about the booth for a second. When we got there, so we were told we had a booth 6 weeks in advance. We didn't know what to prepare for. We get there, nothing's set up. There's like 3 hours to go. There's no pipe and drapes, nothing. We had no idea what we're gonna get in terms of a booth size. Thinking we're gonna get like an 8x8. And then they give us this space. So you can go back to the videos to show this space. We're thinking we're getting an 8x8. We end up with a 30x10 in the front and a 20x10 in the back.
Yeah, we had a back room, big giant back room.
Yeah,
that back room was dope. Yeah, it was made everything
so much better.
Well, it gave us the opportunity to, like, something people might not. I mean, actually, I say that, but a lot of people probably know and understand that if you're a cosplayer and you're in a cosplay that hits home with people, it'll take you 3 hours to get through that con floor. So if I need to go from the south building all the way to the north building to get to my hotel room to get out of that costume, I'm not getting out of that costume.
You're sure not.
Right?
No.
So I'm sweating for, 12 hours or whatever it is in that Predator suit. Having that back room gives us the opportunity to go back there, take the suit off, or take parts of the suit off anyway, and take a break and sit down and have lunch. And, it also gave us the opportunity to host other cosplayers with these big massive costumes.
That's what I'm seeing. My
are
favorite
in the
Comic-Con
same
moment
boat.
with you guys was last year at Fan Expo 2022, which you're seeing footage of now. You guys turned that cosplay area into a party, and Nate is saying the same thing. The booth is the perfect meetup spot for lost cosplayers and solo cosplayers, giving it great community space. So that's definitely what we're going for. That's what we wanted to do. Is I think Andrew from Ill Gotten Hugs, who we've had on the podcast, said it best too. You guys gave a spot for wayward cosplayers to come and hang out. So
yeah, that's what we try to do now at all the shows.
Yep.
He's so good.
We're hoping we're going to keep doing it, at least for the next little while. As far as confirmed shows, we're going to be at London Comic Con.
And we're going to be at
in Windsor at
Windsor.
Northern National.
Northern National, yep.
Is it Northern National Toy Show? No, I forget what it's called now. What's the full name?
It's Northern National Collection or Collectors or whatever, but it's we're part of the fan experience, which is the
right.
Yeah.
The Northern National Collectors Convention.
Right.
Yeah.
There's another little scene here from Fan Expo last year, where the Spider-Verse literally took over our booth when it was me and Doc Ock and Robin Vulture. Mr. Jeff in his Spider-Man suit and attracted, like you can see, probably like 30 different Spider-Mens and girls. And holy cow, was that crazy. Like the crowd that just showed up to take pictures was nuts. That, I think, was the moment when I realized, okay, we're on to something here. Like, people want to hang out, and people want a spot to do things, and people want more interactive than just, vendor after vendor, right? Like, don't get me wrong. You go to these shows, and Artist Alley is amazing, right? You've got some people that make amazing things.
So cool.
I'll give you one example. We've got a couple friends actually of the show that have booths that make things that sell them at. Let me back up. Debbie, I'll give you an example, right? Our friend Debbie, who has been on the podcast multiple times now, darkly designed on Instagram, makes these amazing things out of geeky fabrics. Little bags and little bow ties and things like that, and so there's a lot of amazing people in Artist Alley, but there's also like row after row after row after row of essentially just a big giant flea market, right? And it's the same thing at every show. And I feel like the cosplay community wants to go to the show and have something to do other than just go through the same flea market over and over, right? And that moment was the moment that I realized people want something else, right? People need something else to do at these shows.
Yeah, because something to do that doesn't require you shopping is great.
Yeah,
because conventions are expensive enough as it is, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of these people are from out of town too, right? So you're coming from out of town, so you're just talking about a hotel, you're talking about gas, you're talking about the tickets to the show for the weekend. I mean, you're spending $300, $400, $500, $600 for your weekend.
Yep.
And then when you get there, then all you got to do is spend more money because there's nothing else to do. No, people want a value add and things to do. And I feel like we've brought a little bit of that. And case in point at Toronto Comic Con, we had Anthony with Cosplay Alliance right next to us, and we had the Steampunk Society across from us, and we had the Canon 360 booth right at the end.
So
You could tell
Nikon.
we were the Nikon. I'm sorry, guys.
It's Nikon.
Sorry.
can't
I'll go back
get
and edit that after the fact. I'll bleep that out.
No goes our sponsorship, guys.
Yeah.
Nikon 360 booth. You could tell people that was the spot where everybody was revolving around constantly all weekend. So, thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for hanging out. That's why we do this. Hopefully, we're going to be able to keep doing more. Let's see here in the comments. Oh yeah, the Nikon 360 booth, Michael, right by you guys being so close. Nikon 360 booth right by you guys. Was fun being so close to your booth. I hope that happens again. I mean, they may be at the show. They may be at Fan Expo. Will we be?
Who knows?
I hope so. I feel like Comic-Con did the right thing and kind of put all of us, the community, interactive booths together.
Yes.
And I think the vendors have a place at the con, and the interactive cosplay fan experiences have a place at the con. So everyone wants to do so. There are some people who want to go there and spend money, and that's okay. But there's other people who are there for all 4 days who maybe don't and want to do something else. And they grouped us all together there. At Fan Expo, I don't remember that sense of this is a community area. It was kind of a shove them at the back. So I'm hoping Fan Expo this year takes some notes from what they did for Comic-Con and does that again. Maybe a little bit more space would be nice, because those hallways, we'll call alleyways, were a little tight. Like at one point, I think I came out of the booth to take a picture, and it was like getting caught in a river of salmon, and I'm like, oh my god, bye.
Like stampede, right?
I need back in the booth. Let me back in.
I was out and I couldn't get back in. So I mean, there were some pros and cons, but I feel like they put the right booths together. They put us in the right area. It was very interactive, and those who were not there necessarily to go shopping, that's where they wanted to hang out. So I'm hoping we see that at Fan Expo, because it was a great area. The Comic-Con setup was great. We just needed more space.
Our understanding from the discussions we've had with them is that's kind of what they're going for again at Fan Expo, where a lot of the community stuff will be in the North building this year. The celebrities are going to
really confirm.
Well, nothing's confirmed, but that was the plan, right? It's having a lot of the community stuff in the North building, the celebrities in the North building, Cosplay Alley in the North building, and having the interactive stuff in the North building and the vendors in the South. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It'll be interesting to see for sure. Michael says, just no crepes, please. Yeah, leave the crepes at home. We don't need those damn
no crepes.
No crepes for you.
I want crepes now, but good crepes, not those crepes.
This is maybe for you, Jeff. Rogue 9 saying pass the information on it to Jeremy at Northern Nationals. I'm sure he'd love the input. For sure, and that's one of the things.
Touch with Jeremy pretty much, not quite every day, but I talk to Jeremy weekly. So yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah,
I think I mean, that's one of the things we were talking about with Fan Expo, is being able to bring that value add of having that boots on the ground input that we can at least feed them information with, right? So,
well, this has been good.
William Antler saying, congratulations on the 200th episode of the.
Oh, William, get a little ahead of us there. Hold on. I know every episode feels like it's twice as long as it is, but I promise you it's only been 100.
Just this one.
Yeah, 100. But hey, man, it's there. We'll get there. Just another 2 years, we'll get there for 200.
We'll
get our watch hours by then.
That's
right.
Yeah,
if you guys keep following us and you keep watching us and you keep hitting that like and subscribe button, we'll keep doing this.
Yep. Wrap it up, kids. Take it home, JS.
Yeah, I mean, we've been on for a little over an hour now, so it's kind of that time. Yeah, is there any last thoughts or moments that you guys wanted to talk about from the last couple of years? I mean, there's so many things that we've done.
A comment that I saw earlier that really resonated with me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to scroll back up and find it in time. But when they were talking about episodes they really enjoyed. Oh, there we go. Wraith27 was saying that they also really liked the podcast when they were talking about body positivity in cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've done that twice.
We did 2 at this point. Once. Yeah.
And then you guys did another one for it.
And then we did another one.
I always have complicated feelings about those ones because I feel like it's something we need to talk about, but then it just brings everyone talking about their worst experiences at a con.
Yeah, well, that's why we did it.
But then it loops back around, and it's good. It's good information, and it's good to make sure that people know how to deal with that, and that there is support and still good things.
I mean, talking about it is the whole point, right? I mean, the more you talk about it, the more you bring awareness to it. The more you bring awareness to it, hopefully, the less people will be fucking idiots, right?
That's the hope.
But I mean, when we did
that, but we tried.
Yeah, for sure. When we did that episode, you brought up an insight that but that people don't tend to think about when you think about body positivity and being super tall and lanky versus somebody that perhaps is overweight.
Yes.
There's two sides to every coin that we don't always think about, right? And that's why I feel like those conversations are sometimes important. If not to bring that other side of the coin that maybe people don't necessarily see or think about because it's not their experience, right? So if you don't experience something, you're not necessarily going to think about those things or connect about those things. And I've the first one to admit, I've said some stupid shit to people that I've looked back and said, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I saying? Right. So, when you don't think of these certain things, sometimes you'll say or do things that maybe to you seem fine, but are completely inappropriate. And I feel like those conversations, at least if people are hearing what we're saying, some people might think twice before saying stupid shit in the future,
Yeah, I was saying having the guests on for that is super helpful because you get all those different perspectives and opinions, and you get to hear from people who don't have the same life experiences that you do.
Yeah,
which is the point of us having these conversations in the first place and bringing up these topics, right? Megan Avery saying she liked it when Not Possible went to Calgary. That was a cool way to see a con that I couldn't make it out to. Dana saying, you guys, good interviews. And when Alex and I joined for the movie Prey, we felt welcomed and safe to express. We felt so nervous, but you were always so kind. Well, I mean, we try to make it as welcoming an environment as possibly can.
No need to be nervous with us. I mean, holy cow,
no, unless you're making a top 10 villains list, and then things get real fucking dicey around here. Let me tell you.
You should be nervous of Rob knocking at your door.
That's right.
Not be
as
nervous
you can see,
doing the
he's
podcast
not
with
super
us.
subtle about it. A little bit aggressive over there.
There's a reason.
Okay, we're safer down here. He would need to do like an hour and a half drive to come and knock on our door.
I'd cool off by the time I got to London. Yeah.
Rob gets in, he's like, oh, just give me a fucking drink.
Michael saying the same thing. Keep talking about body positivity coming from some guy who gets it daily. Yeah, I mentioned when I was talking with Ira and Kareem when we were talking about cultural diversity and inclusivity and such, that I would like us to keep going with all the different things that we've talked about before. So not just body positivity, but talking about ageism in cosplay, talking about handicapped or certain abilities and disabilities that people have, physical limitations. I would like us to do a series and interview people that have skin in the game, talking about their experiences as far as the different ways that we all cosplay, because cosplay is for everyone, but we have to keep putting that message out there over and over and over again.
But again,
sure
it's
everybody gets that.
It's those people with their experiences that really inform us on these things that we would never think of because we don't experience some of the things that other people do, right? So it's important to have those people on.
I've said dumb things about cosplays, and it was Jeff that pointed out to me in a roundabout manner that I was looking at things wrong. I don't, you have to let me know on that, Kyle. I'm not sure what we're talking about, but I'm glad that's something that we've been able to help. As our buddy Eric is saying here, that I've been on a soapbox here for the last 7 years. Cosplay is for everyone, and it really is. So that's a message that we got to keep putting out there, and we don't want to be discrimination, and we don't want to be shits. We don't want to be miserable shits to other people, unless they're assholes. They deserve it. But that's a whole other conversation for some other time.
Unless you're Jeff and Jamie.
That's right. And that's all in good fun. Right up until you find me diced up in her freezer.
And then you got Megan Avery saying, I need a reenactment of Jen in her PJs when Rob busted
drink in hand, mad look on her face.
Rob's like,
what the fuck is that? And Jen's like, I know, right? And
oh yeah, the slippers came off, the drink went down, the alcohol came out. I'm like, I know,
pouring
Rob.
my own drink. Like,
tell me about it.
This is bullshit.
Fucking
Wicked Witch of the West.
The one comment, if I can finish off with this one. This is actually my son, and this is, I think, the only time I've ever seen him on the podcast.
Joshua's on.
This was earlier, and that I think means a lot to me, and I think we can all agree to thank the support of our families and allowing us to spend this time each week or random weeks. I know it's a lot of work. And even though I'm not on all the time, I'm often in the background. And if I'm not in the background, I'm driving my kids around and doing different events, and I'm telling them to be quiet in the car because I've got the podcast going on in my car and I've got it on Bluetooth. So there's a lot of patience, I think, with our families because we dedicate so much time, not only for the podcast, but for Geeks and Co. And I don't think any of us would be here with smiles on our faces if our families didn't support that and be patient with us and celebrate that. So thank you, Joshua. And a big thank you to all of our families and supporting people around us that allow us to put so much effort into this.
Rob, you got any last
Or
words?
you're also sometimes downstairs yelling.
Yeah, that's your yelling. Shaking her fist.
No.
Guys, if you haven't seen, we've got our Fan Expo lineups up on the Geeks and Co channel. Actually, they're up on all of our pages, but it's all of them are up on the Geeks and Co page on Instagram. So go check them out. Just so everybody knows, we're doing a horror on Friday. That's right.
Thursday.
Thursday. Thank you. Friday is Sci Friday. That's right. We're all doing Star Wars. Funny enough, we should have just called it Star Wars Day, but we wanted to leave it open for other people that may want to do other sci-fi stuff that's not necessarily Star Wars. Doing Villains Day on Saturdays. Of course, me and Rob are going to be doing our Predators. You can't go to a con and not do the Predators at least one day.
Still can't believe you make that sound. I do not like it.
Boy's got skills with his mouth. Anyways.
Oh yeah. And then
we're
Sunday,
doing a horror day. Oh, I heard you wrong.
Horror.
I heard you wrong. I'm gonna need to change mine.
I see. By the way, Rob, we need to
doing Sexy Myers.
Yeah, we need to reproduce that picture. Rob is going to be Michael Myers on Thursday. We totally need to get a shot of you and redo this specific picture as you in there. Yeah, Sunday, guys, is DC Day. Obviously, we are the Batman. Let's be honest, cannot not be at the show. So Batman will be there. The Riddler is going to be there. Poison Ivy is going to be there. Unfortunately, Mr. Freeze is not going to be there. Yeah, I know.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my days ruined.
I know. Big boo. Guys, don't worry. I'm not giving up on Freeze. Freeze will be coming. I've just had a couple setbacks, and now we're a couple weeks away, and it's just running out of time. And we're trying to plan the rest of the con. So that's more important than building a new costume right now. So unfortunately, I will just be doing my plain old Red Hood again on the Sunday. Jeff, maybe you can bring that chest plate, reminisce on the old school Red Hood. Of
course, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's going to be my plans for Fan Expo. Sorry, that's going to be our plans for Fan Expo. Actually, I'll be doing Jason Voorhees, Revan, Predator, and then Red Hood. Those are my 4 days.
Nice.
Jeff, you are?
I am Negan. I am Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
I am debuting a new cosplay. That is classic Loki. So I have the suit. I have a picture of myself in the suit. It is fucking ridiculous. I pick up the fully assembled and painted helmet tomorrow. So I am, in fact, good to go for classic Loki on Saturday. And then Sunday will be the Batman one more time. So
excellent.
Yeah,
it should be fun. Yeah.
Oh, there's my lineup. There you go.
There's Jazz. Yeah.
I've already spoiled it, but yeah. That is obviously not me as Jason, but close enough.
There we go. Then for mine, I'm going to be Frankie from The Walking Dead because I do not have anything related to horror. So that's my shoe-in for Thursday.
We're gonna fix that, Megan.
Yes, but not in time for Fan Expo.
Not in time for Fan Expo, but we're gonna fix that.
Yep. And then Friday, I am wearing my Rey. Saturday is going to be Jareth with a ancillary costume to change into if my feet protest. So comfort option. And then Sunday is going to be a new Poison Ivy. I am working on that currently, and Erica is working on my wig, and I'm very excited.
I was speaking with Kid, and Kid might also be doing his Jareth on Saturday. So,
oh yeah,
nice. The Jareth off, nice.
I would say 7. I don't know if they watched the podcast, but they're also doing Jareth for Saturday.
Who?
You need to say that very carefully, Jeff. And then
another cosplayer. They are one of the guests for Fan Expo.
Ah, nice. Very cool. There you go.
Mr. Rob the Bad Guy. So I am Myers on Thursday. Friday doing Kylo Ren, which I've never done before. So that's going to be a brand new one for me. Saturday, Mr. Predator, number 2. And Sunday, going to be the Ying to Jeff's Yang. I'm going to do the Riddler.
Yeah. Ying my yang, buddy. Woo!
Yeah. So yeah, that's my lineup.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be a Geeks and Co. person all days. No cosplay for me. Just
Our friend and our photographer friend. She's going to be Lydia on Thursday and Brienne of Tarth for our Game of Thrones fans on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yes. Yeah.
And hopefully we might be able to bring some other people.
Don't spoil beans that you can't commit to.
At the lineup.
Yes, hopefully, guys. We just so you
Like
guys know,
Star Trek.
We won't spill the beans necessarily, but we have reached out to several different cosplayers to feature them at the booth. So once we get information exactly on where the booth is going to be located, what size it's going to be, confirmation on all of that, we'll start announcing the different cosplayers that have agreed to be guests at the booth over the course of the 4 days. So there'll be some familiar faces, some newer faces. So stay tuned for that, guys. By the way, guys, too, and especially if you know you're going to be at London or if you know you're going to be at Windsor and you'd like to be featured at the booth, reach out to the Geeks and Go account and talk to us. And I'm sure we can theme you up or set something up and have you at the booth for an hour or two. We'll schedule you in. We'd love to have you. We can't talk about our booth being a resource for cosplayers to come and hang out with if we're not having any cosplayers come and hang out at the booth. So if you want to be a featured guest, man, we'd love to have you. Reach out and let us know for sure.
Definitely.
Rob, do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap this up? I think Megan and Jen have got theirs out, and I'm sure JS and I will close this thing out. But you got anything?
No, I don't have any closing thoughts to add.
No,
I think you guys got it.
Your video of storming JS's place is enough to.
That was my contribution.
That's nice. That's good. That's good.
Wonderful contribution.
I want to thank everybody here in the channel. Obviously, everybody. Someone mentioned before, we've all got our roles, right? And JS gets started everything. Jen keeps us all going. Rob makes all the coolest shit, and Megan looks us all look fantastic on the internet. So, and the fact that we all get to do this together live and in person too, which we'd never thought we'd get to do before, is fantastic. But who I want to thank the most is you guys. This doesn't exist without you guys tuning in week after week after week. So the Geeks and Co. I love my brothers and sisters here, and we love the families that put up with our bullshit through this. But we're nothing without you guys, without the fans and the constant listeners and the constant viewers that tune in week after week to support the show, and then come out to the cons to support us at the booths and such. So thank you for getting us to 100. We hope to see you for the next 100 and beyond. So that's all I got. What say you there, leader, captain, compadre? Beginner,
I think you've said it. You think you said it all. I think you've said it very well. I think a big thanks to everybody that watches us, everybody that comes to the conventions, everybody that supports us, whether it be our family or friends, all the people that think we're weirdos dressing up. Hey, thanks for supporting us anyway, because we are weirdos dressing up.
100%.
You know, thanks to you guys. The 5 on this screen, plus the 2 that are missing. I've said that earlier. You guys make it what we are, but do we have another 100 in us? I really like to think so, because I'm not going to stop. I don't care if people are not going to watch. I'm still going to do it because I like being an idiot on the internet, and I like hanging out with this other idiot on the internet. So I think I'm going to say, until next week, folks, make sure you stay geeky, and we'll see you next time. What no weird outro. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, to make sure you never miss an